Hey there, friends. I'm Chief Meteorologist Trevor Birchett with ABC 24 here in Memphis. Thank you so much for joining us for this extended weather update right here on ABC 24 Plus. It is now officially summer, and Mother Nature is really kicking up the heat and humidity here in the Memphis area. That is actually our weather impact alert for the next several days. We are going to be battling this extreme heat and the humidity that's actually going to make it feel even hotter. Here's what you need to know. Of course, this is kind of the first heat wave of the season. It's been hot, but this is definitely the hottest it has been so far this year. For Saturday in particular, the heat index could be as high as 107, maybe even 108 in some neighborhoods. Now, the heat and humidity is going to continue through the weekend and into early next week, but the humidity might come down just a little bit. That might help us get that heat index closer to 102 or 103. Still very hot, but I do think that Saturday is going to be the hottest and most humid day for the next 7 days. So here's what we're watching. Really, the big story is this dome of high pressure that is settling in. Now, high pressure is a good weather maker, so typically it brings us sunny and mostly dry weather, with the exception of a couple of pop-up showers. But anytime that high pressure is nearby, it also means hot and humid in most cases. And this high pressure is going to stay parked over us here for at least the next week, maybe the next week or two. And that's going to keep us in this hot and humid weather pattern here in the southeast. As far as this weekend goes, again, sunny, hot, and humid. That's kind of the three key words you need to know. 94 for Saturday, also 94 on Sunday. Again, I do expect the humidity to be a little bit higher on Saturday, and that's going to push that heat index closer to 107 on Saturday, probably around 104 Sunday. So still very hot and very humid, but that humidity might come down just a bit on Sunday, and that will help to bump that heat index down just a little bit too. So that's the forecast for the Memphis area. If you're trying to get out of town, maybe find somewhere cool on the water for the next several days. The weekend going to pretty much be the same across the area. Mid-90s with sunshine at Enid, Pickwick, Sardis, and over in Greers Ferry, Arkansas. There are slight chances for some quick pop-up showers, but if you do see one, it will only last about 10 or 20 minutes. We don't expect any serious rain this weekend or for the next several days, but if you do see a shower, it might help to cool you down just a little bit. So some of you might be hoping for one of those quick pop-up showers for the next several days. Of course, it's summertime, so the UV index also cranking up through the weekend and into early next week. Expect the UV to be around 10, maybe even higher. That means you can burn in as little as 10 minutes. So make sure you're lathering up on that sunscreen. And remember, even if it does get a little cloudy at times, those UV rays can still beat through. So just because you might be caught under a cloud, don't think you can't burn, because you definitely can. Be sure you're wearing that sunscreen with SPF 30 or higher. Again, most of us totally dry for the next 7 days, but again, it's summertime. There's a chance of some of those pop-up showers and storms. The hour-by-hour radar shows that Saturday around 3 o'clock, there could be a shower or two somewhere in the Mid-South. Most of us will miss the rain. We're just going to continue to be hot and humid. Any showers that do pop up, they'll go away by sunset, and then they'll come back by Sunday afternoon. We'll kind of repeat this pattern here for the next week. Mostly dry with that slight chance of pop-up showers in the late afternoon, early evening hours. Otherwise, just pretty hot and humid out there. So in general, the forecast is the same for the next 7 days. A pretty easy forecast for me. Sunny, hot, and humid. Highs going to be in the mid-90s, lows in the mid-70s. The heat index over 100, and a daily chance of some quick afternoon showers. Most of us will not see the rain at all. Again, if you do see a pop-up shower, it could bring you some relief from the heat, at least for 10 or 20 minutes while the storm pops up near you. Again, rain chances overall low, 20% each afternoon. Most of us not going to see much of any rain for the next 7 days. And in fact, when you add it all up, for now through next Friday, we'll be lucky if we see 1/10 of an inch of rain. Even if you do see a quick shower for the next several days, it's going to be so quick that it really won't amount to much. And that means we're just going to stay hot. I told you that high pressure is likely to just stay parked right over the Mid-South for the next several days. And it looks like even for the next couple of weeks, we're going to stay above average in the temperature department. Our average high is near 90 now for this time of year. So it looks like we will stay above that for the next week, possibly for the next couple of weeks through the end of June. So remember that summer heat safety, with this being the first kind of real heat wave of the season. Want to remember these things. The biggest thing is to stay hydrated. Even if you don't think you're thirsty, you want to go ahead and drink some water. If you have to be outside, even if you're near the pool, make sure you're taking breaks inside or at least in the shade to take care of your body and cool yourself down. Remember your kids in the back seat. That is so important. We all think we could never do it. Life is hectic, things happen. Double, triple check the back seat. Leave something back there to help you remember. Your pets too, don't forget them, especially in a hot car. That can be dangerous to them as well, even if the windows are cracked. Let those pets stay inside and stay cool. Also check in on your friends, family, and neighbors, especially if you have anybody in your life that might be elderly or might need some special care. Make sure their AC is working okay, and if not, help them get to a place where they can stay cool. The library is usually open when it gets this hot to help you cool down. I do want to remind you again about that hot car safety. You get a temperature of 95 degrees outside, even with the windows cracked after 20 minutes. Inside your car gets up to 130, and that's just after 20 minutes. So if you're in there for hours on end, that temperature can get up to 150 even. So nothing or anybody should be left in a car for any amount of time, even if the windows are cracked. Kids, pets, anybody. Do not leave anybody in the car this time of year because it is just way too dangerously hot. I also want to remind you, again, with this being the first kind of real heat wave, heat exhaustion versus heat stroke. Heat exhaustion is a lot more common. That's when we just kind of overdo it. You might get a little dizzy, might get a little thirsty, might be sweating a lot. That's kind of the big key there. If you are really overexerted and you're sweating a lot, maybe you're sick to your stomach a little bit, that is just heat exhaustion. Go inside, cool down, put a washcloth on your head, get in some cool water. That can happen to any of us, especially if you're overdoing it a little bit. Some of us like to go run and get out in the garden. That can hurt you just a little bit in the summertime. So again, if you start feeling dizziness, you get really thirsty and you're sweating a lot, go inside and cool down. The difference is heat stroke. Heat stroke is less common, but it's much more serious. Heat stroke happens when your body is really just starting to shut down because it's so hot. The big difference is if you're having a heat stroke, you're not sweating. You're clammy, you're dry, you almost look a little pale, and you start to get confused, and you can even pass out. So if you're around someone, they start to get a little lethargic, they get confused, maybe they pass out. If they're not sweating at all, that is a heat stroke, and that is a serious medical condition. And at that point, you have to call 911 and get them to the hospital. Again, heat exhaustion, if you're just feeling a little dizzy, you're sweating a lot, just go inside and cool down. But if you notice someone is getting confused, passing out, not sweating, that is a heat stroke, and that is time to call the emergency services. Pets, again, very important. The kids are obviously very important, but the pets for sure. Don't take them out in the heat of the afternoon, early in the morning or late at night. That's the best time for the pets. And then the pavement as well. Remember that pavement can be very hot in the summertime. Take your hand, hold it on the pavement for 10 seconds. If you cannot hold your hand down for 10 seconds, it's too hot for your pet's paws. Something you can do, get those little booties for them. I know they look a little silly, but they actually really do help because those paw pads can burn easily on your dogs. So make sure you have somebody to cover up those paws if you do have to take them out on the concrete, especially in the heat of the day. Dogs can also experience heat stroke, and it can happen a lot more frequently than it does in humans. Even when the temperature is 80 or higher, if it's humid outside, dogs can have heat stroke. So probably just a good idea in the summer months to keep them inside in the afternoon, let them cool down, at least let them come into the garage. If they're an outside dog, make sure they have plenty of water. Don't let them run around too much in the afternoon. You definitely want them to be safe out there, and don't leave them unsupervised around the pool. They might go trying to jump in and then have some trouble getting out. So bottom line, hot, very humid for the next several days. Rain chances, they're going to be staying pretty low, but consider yourself lucky if you do see a quick shower. Remember, extended weather updates all the time right here on ABC 24 Plus. That's our app for Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV. Also on your smartphone. If you've cut the cord, if you don't have cable, you can always watch us right here for free. Just search ABC 24 on your streaming platform. Again, the heat index looks like it's going to be the highest on Saturday. We've gone with a weather impact alert day for Saturday just because that heat index looks a little bit higher. It's going to get to 107 on the feels like Saturday. The humidity might come down a bit for the rest of the week, but it still looks very hot. The heat index teeters around 103, 104 for Sunday and next week. Notice we say sunny and hot, highs in the mid-90s, lows in the 70s, and it does look like really rain chances, they stay pretty low for the next 7 days, but you could see a pop-up shower if you're lucky. So again, it's summertime. It's going to feel like it. Make sure you're taking care of yourself. Check in on your friends and neighbors as well. And of course, we'll be here to keep you updated through this latest stretch of hot weather. For now, I'm Chief Meteorologist Trevor Birchett. Have a good day.